You weren't born to wake up, clock in, clock out, pay bills, and die. But somewhere along the way, someone convinced you that your job description was your destiny. Today, I'm going to show you the truth. The 9-to-5 system was never designed to make you free. It was designed to make you predictable. And if you've ever felt that quiet ache inside that says, I'm made for more than this, you're not crazy. You're starting to wake up. Keep watching, because once you see how your creativity was trained out of you, you'll never think about your job, your education, or your potential the same way again. Hey, I'm Mark Casto. A few years ago, I was like most people, underpaid, overworked, carrying wisdom I didn't know how to turn into wealth. So I did something different. I took the message that was burning inside me, turned it into digital products, and built a six-figure business from scratch. Along the way, I grew an audience of more than 200,000 people simply by sharing what I knew and helping everyday people realize that their wisdom is their most profitable asset. Now, I teach messengers, leaders, purpose-driven people how to take their knowledge that they've lived through, the breakthroughs, the experience, the insights, their wisdom, and turn it into digital products that create income, impact, and freedom. So, if you're ready to stop shrinking back, start creating, and finally step into the entrepreneur you were designed to be, you are in the right place. Before we dive in, though, let me invite you to something that is going to absolutely change your life. The Wisdom to Wealth 5-Day Challenge. 5 days where I help you break limiting beliefs, find your niche, package your wisdom, and launch your first digital product. If you've ever been feeling the pull towards real entrepreneurship, if something inside you knows you're meant for more, this challenge is your launch pad. The link's in the description below. Now, let's jump into the training. I want to expose the system that trained you to think small. Most people assume the 9-to-5 is just how life works. But that's only because nobody ever told them why it exists. So let's go back a little over 100 years ago, before factories, before assembly lines, before mass production. People worked based on seasons. They worked based on craftsmanship, skill, family trade, local opportunities, personal ingenuity. Farmers didn't punch a time clock. Blacksmiths didn't file HR paperwork for PTO. Builders didn't need permission to innovate. People worked according to purpose, not policy. Then something happened. The Industrial Revolution. Machines arrived. Factories grew. Populations exploded. Cities began to swell. Suddenly, the world needed something new. A large workforce that could behave predictably. Predictable hours, predictable output, predictable obedience. But you can't get predictable behavior from a society of craftsmen, innovators, and self-governing workers. So companies led by figures like Henry Ford developed a system to train people into predictability, introducing the 9-to-5 workday. And it spread like wildfire. But here's the part nobody ever told you. The 9-to-5 wasn't designed for your financial freedom. It was designed for someone else's efficiency. It was built for the factory, not for your future. It rewarded obedience, not imagination. Reliability, not originality. Endurance, not evolution. And over time, millions of brilliant people forgot how to think like creators. They learned how to think like task doers, order followers, hour traders, permission seekers. People stopped saying, what could I build? And started saying, what will they pay me? The entrepreneurial spirit didn't die. It was trained out of society. If the 9-to-5 was the cage, the educational system was the key that locked the door. Most people don't even realize this, but the modern school system has roots in what's called the Prussian model of education, a system intentionally designed to produce rule followers, obedient citizens, predictable soldiers, factory-ready workers. Let me paint the picture for you, okay? See if this sounds familiar. A bell rings. Everyone moves at once. Desks lined up in rows. Curriculum standardized. Creativity minimized. Memorization prioritized. Mistakes punished. Permission required for everything. School wasn't designed to draw out your potential. It was designed to prepare you for the assembly line. You weren't taught how to think. You were taught how to repeat. You weren't encouraged to innovate. You were encouraged to comply. And that's why so many adults fear taking risk, starting something new, failure, looking stupid, asking for help, charging for their wisdom, being seen, creating content, selling a product, standing out, because school conditioned them to fear the very thing that creates wealth. If you spoke up too much, they're disruptive. If you question a process, disrespectful. If you learn differently, that's a problem. If you are creative, off task. If you are passionate, too much. And by the time you graduated high school, your entrepreneurial instincts were buried under fear of authority, fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being different. The system, friend, didn't fail you. It succeeded at what it was built to do. There's a book that was written years ago. I love it. Adam Grant, in his book Originals, he breaks down one of the most eye-opening truths about creativity. Most people don't lack creativity. They lack the courage to contradict the crowd. And that courage was trained out of them early. Grant found that children who question rules become the innovators of the future. But in school, they're punished for challenging the system. So they grow up talented but silent, intelligent but restrained, capable but hesitant. Sound familiar? He also revealed something profound. Creativity dies in cultures of conformity, not incompetence. The more pressure you feel to fit in, the less likely you are to innovate. And the entire 9 to 5 plus the educational system is engineered on fitting in. Think about it. Standardized testing, standardized behavior, and the entire 9 to 5 plus the educational system is engineered on fitting in. Standardized testing, standardized behavior, standardized expectations, standardized outcomes. And society wonders why so many grown adults feel trapped. They're not trapped by their job. They're trapped by their training. Grant also notes that world changers aren't reckless. They're iterators. They test ideas on a small scale. They gather the data. They refine. They adjust. They try again. Friend, that's entrepreneurship. Not giant leaps, but small, bold steps. Steps that school never taught you to take. But today, we're taking the first one back. Once you understand the history, a question begins to surface. How did we get so comfortable living beneath our potential? It's simple. We traded the promise of possibility for the security of a paycheck. And security is addictive. Security feels safe. It feels certain. Security feels familiar. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Your paycheck is not security. It's dependency. Security is being able to build wealth from your wisdom. Security is creating assets. Security is ownership. And most people cling to jobs not because they love stability, but because they don't trust their own wisdom. But here's the wake-up moment. A paycheck will always protect the company before it protects you. A job will always pay you just enough to keep you from leaving, but never enough to become independent. And this is how people stay trapped for decades, not because they lack calling, but because they've never learned to think like owners. Friend, you're not stuck. You're underdeveloped, and that can change. Now, let's shift from history to revelation. Because long before the 9-to-5 existed, long before the Industrial Revolution, long before the first textbook, there was a man named Solomon who built an economic empire. And he did it not through brute force, not through labor, not through hours. He built it through wisdom. So I want to break down for you the 5 wealth principles of Solomon and how they apply to digital entrepreneurship today. Number 1, Solomon monetized his wisdom unapologetically. In 1 Kings chapter 4, if we're looking in the scripture, 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 34, it says this: people from every nation came to listen to Solomon's wisdom. Listen to this: sent by all the kings of the world. Translation, he built a global consulting and thought leadership business. People traveled with gifts of gold, wealth, resources just to hear him speak. He didn't sell products, he sold perspective. He didn't sell labor, he sold insight. He didn't sell hours, he sold wisdom. Please hear me. Solomon didn't beg people to buy from him. People begged him to take their gifts. Why? Because wisdom is the highest value in any economy, and the world pays premium for transformation. This is exactly what digital products allow today. Your wisdom, packaged once, sold infinitely without you trading hours. This is Solomon thinking. This is kingdom entrepreneurship. Number 2, let's bring it to the board here, okay? Solomon leveraged, once you look at this, he leveraged partnerships. So if you're taking notes, this is number 2. Solomon leveraged partnerships, watch this, not solo hustle. Partnerships are key. Solomon knew what many entrepreneurs never learn. You don't build great things alone. In 1 Kings chapter 5, he partnered with King Hiram of Tyre to secure cedar, cypress. In 1 Kings chapter 5, he partnered with King Hiram of Tyre to secure cedar, cypress, stonemasons, skilled workers, resources he didn't personally possess. Stonemasons, skilled workers, resources he didn't personally possess. This teaches us that Solomon didn't limit his future to his own skill set. He expanded his future by expanding his relationships. Modern version, you don't need to be a tech expert. That's what platforms are for. You don't need to know marketing. That's what frameworks are for. You don't need to know everything. You need access. Entrepreneurs multiply when they stop being lone rangers. Partnership created Solomon's empire. Partnership will create yours. Number 3, these are principles from the life of Solomon. Solomon built, I want you to look at this, Solomon built systems. Most people live their life in stress because they've never built systems. Every entrepreneur hits a ceiling when they run out of capacity. Solomon never hit that ceiling because he never tried to do everything himself. So 1 Kings chapter 4, it outlines the whole thing. He had officers over regions. He had administrative layers, teams that were delegated by task, operational systems, governmental structure. He built an organizational organism that could function without him. Systems did the heavy lifting. This is why digital products and funnels are so powerful today. Content works while you sleep. Funnels sell while you rest. Emails, they nurture while you're with your family. Automations deliver while you're on vacation. So in Solomon's era, systems multiplied his wisdom. And in our era, tech multiplies yours. Okay, let's talk about number 4. On number 4, Solomon, I want you to look at this, created, look, assets. Now this is big here, not just income. Solomon created assets, not just income. Income feeds you today. Assets feed you into the future. See, Solomon built the temple. He built cities, trade routes, storage buildings, ports, agricultural networks, economies. These weren't just projects. These were assets. In Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2, Solomon says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come. Solomon wasn't just spiritual. He was strategic. He diversified. He multiplied. He reinvested. Today, digital products are the most accessible asset class on earth. Here's how it works. You build it once, you refine it, you sell it over and over. No warehouse, no overhead, no shipping, no staff, no manufacturing, no distribution chain, just wisdom packaged, multiplied, okay? This is the modern temple. This is modern wealth creation. This is stewardship in the digital age. Now, come back to the board. I'm going to give you the last one here, number 5. Solomon, this is huge here today, guys. I want you to pay attention to this. Solomon understood his value. This is big. I'm going to add to it. And never apologized for it. This is big. He never apologized for his value. Okay? Entrepreneurs struggle with charging. Solomon did not. When the Queen of Sheba visited, listen to what she brought. 120 talents of gold, spices, precious stones, gifts of immense value. Why? Because she understood transformation is worth more than information. Solomon didn't discount himself, apologize for charging, lower his value, feel guilty for earning. He knew the truth. Charging people is not exploitation. It's stewardship. When people invest, they transform. When people pay, they commit. When people value your wisdom, they act on it. They sow to it. And this is why I tell my clients, your wisdom is worth more than your wages. And digital products give you a way to charge ethically, powerfully, and sustainably. Now, let's bridge ancient wisdom to modern opportunity. For the first time in human history, you can share your wisdom with the world, package it into digital assets, sell it globally, multiply it infinitely, build systems that scale, and create income without trading hours for dollars. Guys, this wasn't possible 20 years ago. It wasn't even really possible 10 years ago. Honestly, it wasn't even simple 5 years ago. But now, anyone with a story, a lesson, a method, a framework, a skill, a testimony, a breakthrough, a craft, and expertise can monetize their wisdom. See, this is Solomon's economy, digitalized. Let me speak directly to you now. You will never step into a new life with an old identity. As long as you think like an employee, you will live like an employee. The 9-to-5 mindset says, tell me what to do. Give me stability. I hope I get a raise. I don't want to mess up. I'll stay comfortable. I'll wait for permission. But the entrepreneurial mindset says, what problem can I solve today? What wisdom do I already have? What can I create once that pays me forever? What system can I automate? Who can I help? What message am I carrying? Entrepreneurs don't wait for opportunity. They create it. Entrepreneurs don't fear mistakes. They learn from them. Entrepreneurs don't ask for permission. They walk in purpose. And entrepreneurs don't trade hours for dollars. They trade wisdom for wealth. Guys, hear me. Your job is not your destiny. Your paycheck is not your identity. Your employer is not the one who holds your future. You are a steward of wisdom, a carrier of solutions, a builder, a creator, a messenger. The world doesn't need more employees. It needs more wisdom-led entrepreneurs. And today, you begin shifting from identity to assignment, employee to entrepreneur, survival to impact, paycheck into purpose, hours to assets, obedience to ownership. Friend, this is your wake-up call. You were never meant to retire from a job. You were meant to graduate into your God-given assignment. And in this digital age, you are one decision and one digital product, one funnel away from changing your life. So, if this episode is stirring something in you, if something in your spirit said, this is me, I'm ready, then let me personally invite you to join me for my very first of 2026 Wisdom to Wealth 5-Day Challenge. 5 days of breakthrough, 5 days of clarity, 5 days of building, 5 days of becoming who you truly are. Guys, I'm going to show you how to think like a digital product messenger, how to find your niche, how to package your wisdom, how to create your first digital product. I'm going to teach you how to build your first asset, how to step into entrepreneurial identity. Guys, the link is in the description below. This is your moment. This is your shift. This is your season to build. And you, yes, you were born for this.